Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go on, and with the cheeks, it says to use the white yarn. You're going to make 2 of them. I will help you go through with you and make 1 of them, and then you can pause the video and go ahead and make your second one. Okay, so it says to first we start with a slip stitch, okay, and then we chain 2, 1, 2, and then in the second chain from the hook, which is the very first chain that we did, we're going to do 8 single crochets in there. Okay, so these are just single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm working over my straggler. 6, 7, and 8. So we end up making a circle. Okay, and then we're going to join, and we'll end up with 9 stitches if you counted that chain 1 that we started with, but we're going to join in the first single crochet that we did. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just counting backwards until I get to 8, and that'll tell me which one to join into. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So right here, the top of this first single crochet, I'm going to join. Okay, and keeping on with our white yarn, we're going to chain 1, and then now we're going to do 2 single crochets in each stitch around. And counting the chain 1, it'll be 17 stitches, but it's actually going to be 16 single crochets. Okay, so 2 in each one. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. 5, 6, 7, and 8, 9, and 10, 11, and 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Okay, so we did 2 single crochets in each single crochet around. Okay, and then we're going to remember we want to join in the first single crochet, not the chain 1. Okay, and now we're going to do it one more time. We're going to chain up 1, and now we're not going to do any increasing. We're just going to single crochet in each single crochet around. Okay, so we will have 17 stitches counting this chain 1, but it'll be 16 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, and then as always we are joining in the first single crochet, not the chain 1. And that's all for the cheek. It's just 3 rounds. Okay, so we're going to cut our yarn, but we do want to leave a tail to so we can sew it onto our hat. So this time we want to leave a longer piece for a tail to sew it in. Okay, so we chain 1 and pull it all the way through, pull it tight, and then you can weave in this tail, but it's going to be underneath everything, so I just kind of wad it up there and then when I stitch it on, it's going to be underneath this circle. Okay, so now you can pause the video and go ahead and make one more of these 3 round circles. Okay, so that will be our second cheek. Okay. Okay, so I finished my second cheek, so I have the 2 cheeks, and now we're going to do the nose. So we need our black yarn again. And the nose only has 2 rounds. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to start like we did the cheeks. We're going to start with a slip knot and chain up 2. 1, 2. Okay, now we're going to do 6 single crochets into that first chain. The first chain that we did, which is actually the second chain from your hook. So 6 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so now we're going to join into our first single crochet. So I know it's very hard to count. I look at black yarn. That's not my favorite yarn to use, but if you have some good lighting, it'll help. Anyway, so I'm going to count back to my 6th one so I know where to put my hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, right there. Oop, so slip stitch into that. Okay, chain 1, and then now we're going to do 2 single crochets in each stitch around. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, and then we join to our first single crochet. And as the other ones, we want to go ahead and leave a long tail or a pretty good sized tail to sew our nose onto the hat. Chain up 1 and pull it all the way through to fasten it off, pull it tight. Okay, so there's our nose. Okay, so the next thing it says to go ahead and do the whiskers, but we haven't sewed it onto our hat yet. So the next thing we're going to make is we're going to make the ears. So that will be with our orange yarn. Okay, and of course you will make 2 of these. So go ahead and slip stitch to get started, and then it says to chain 2. 1, 2. Now it says to do 5 single crochets into the second chain from the hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and then we're going to join to the first single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that one right there. Okay, join, and then it's chain 1, and then we're going to do 2 single crochets in each stitch across. Counting the chain 1, it says you will have 11 stitches. If you don't count the chain 1, then you will have 10 single crochets. Okay, so 1, 2 in each stitch, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 right there, and then 9. Oops, split my yarn. Let's try that one again. Okay, 9 and 10. Okay, and then join to our first single crochet. And then it says chain up 1, and then it says for rows 3 and 4 we're going to do just 1 single crochet in each stitch around. Okay, so there'll be 10 single crochets, join it, and then 10 more single crochets and join it. So row 3, this is row 3, so we're going to do 10 single crochets around, so 1 in each stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, and so see how it's bowling up? That which is fine, it's what you want it to do, but I like to push it up this way so then I'll have the right side out. Okay, so now I want to slip stitch into the first single crochet. Okay, chain up 1, and now we're going to do exactly the same thing. We're going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch around, which would make 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, and join in our first single crochet. Okay, so that was rows 3 and 4. So okay, so for row 5, round 5, we're going to chain 1, which I did that already, and then we're going to single crochet decrease around, which will mean we're going to put two single crochet 2 stitches together. Okay, and I like to do an invisible decrease. I'm just going to poke that tail up inside there. Okay, so the way you can do that is you put your hook, you want to put it under the front loop only of that stitch, and then go ahead and do the front loop only of the next stitch. Okay, and then you bring your yarn through for a single crochet. Okay, so I did those 2 together, so that was 1. Now I'm going to do another one. So under the front loop only, and then under the front loop only of the next stitch as well. Whoop, had something fall over, some buttons. Okay, and do our single crochet. Next one, this one. Front loop only, and then under the front loop only, single crochet. That makes 3. Front loop only, front loop only, single crochet. 4. Front loop only, front loop only. 5. Whoops. Okay, and one more. Well, actually, yeah, it's 5 because we are at the beginning already. Yep. Okay, and let's see, what does it say? It does say to join it, so let's do that. Actually, looks like I need, no, that's right, you join it to the front, the top of the first single crochet with a slip stitch. There you go. So there's our ear. Okay, now we're going to cut our yarn and fasten off, but I'm going to leave a long tail for sewing. It does say fasten off and weave in the ends, but I'm using this yarn to sew on the ear. So I'm going to leave a tail to sew it up, or sew it onto the ear. I mean, to the hat. Okay, so there's our first ear. Okay, so we are going to now do one more ear. Okay, so we're going to do one more ear just like we did this one. So pause your video and pause the video and then go ahead and finish another ear exactly the way you did this one, and then I will meet you up when we get that ear finished.